me tell you something. This right here is the Casual and the Cinephile. My co-host to my right is the Casual, William Frederick Henkel II, and I am the Cinephile.
You ain't no cinephile, bitch.
Oh yes, I am.
Oh no, you're not.
Oh yes.
Oh no, you're not.
I am the Cinephile, Justin. Right now, we're gonna hit y'all with a double feature. Dune Part 1 and 2. Hopefully, when we're going over Dune 1, it'll be a lot more exciting than when you saw it in the movies, because that shit was a snooze fest.
No, it wasn't.
Let me explain something to you. That shit, they played that at 4 different retirement homes. They said those old people had the best sleep of their lives.
Wait, what'd you say?
Exactly. He's not even paying attention.
All right.
Who directed Dune 1 and 2? What's his name? Denis Villeneuve. Denis. I don't know where I got Dennis from.
Everybody mistakes it.
I'm terrible with names, dog. How you say his last name?
Villeneuve. It's hard to pronounce it. I know.
First name?
Denis. Yeah.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yes.
Gangster.
French Canadian.
That's hard.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like visually, and maybe I'm crazy. But I've only ever seen him like once, and I've seen this other guy only a handful of times. He reminds me of the actor that played on King Viserys in House of the Dragons visually.
Oh, yes. Yes.
When I saw him, I was like, I think his name is Patty, the guy that played Viserys.
I never watched the show.
Pretty good show.
Only good 3 episodes.
Now, do we have any background information regarding both Dune 1 and 2 about the production? That's cool, insightful, anything?
Outside of being his passion project since he was 14, then, well, there's many things.
You have to break that one down for me. How was it his passion project since 14?
Yeah, because he
was writing that since 14, that script, based off those books?
Yeah, like he read the book in a library, and he just fell in love with the book. And
yeah, but when did he start writing the script?
Like he storyboarded it. And in a way, I feel like he's been playing it for 40 years.
You don't be making stuff up.
I'm not making stuff up.
You said you feel like it. I didn't even know if this is actual factual.
I don't want to accidentally misinterpret shit.
You're over here throwing things at me right now. But I'm thinking that's official. But it is, it's dope.
I don't want to accidentally misinterpret shit and then I get attacked on the internet.
I feel like I'm misinterpreting. I don't really understand what's going on.
You want to fuck the internet. He planned this for 40 years. And
for 4 or 40?
40 years. 40. Check your ears.
You gotta enunciate better.
Yeah, for 40 years. And yeah. Like, I don't know where else to go with it.
I mean, so are you supposedly, and this is from his mouth?
Yes.
So he said
according to him,
he planned this shit for 40 years.
Yeah, his teenage dream.
So then I would ask you, as someone because I know you've seen more of his content than I have.
Yes.
All the films preceding, is preceding the right word? All the films before Dune 1 and 2.
Yes.
Do they all have elements that you've seen, like, all right, like, this film helped him to do this better, and this film helped him do that better, and this helped with this. So then when he finally got to Dune, he was able to put everything he did right in these films into this and make it better.
Well, technically, yeah, but his movies get stronger and stronger in a way. That's the way I could describe it. Like after he did Sicario, I believe, he went to his...
Did Sicario?
Yeah, the first Sicario. Like, his directing was impeccable. Like, I just love his films.
I just saw that shit 2 days ago.
Awesome. What'd you think?
It was really fucking good.
Good.
I like the second one a little more, but like I said, the reason why I like the second one is...
Isabella Merced.
No.
Oh.
It's because of how gangster it was.
Mm.
You know what it was? You seen the second one?
Mm-mm. I never watched it because, I don't know. Like, if it wasn't done by the same director, I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to react.
It definitely wasn't as story-driven as the first one.
Mm.
Like, you can tell the differences between both films right off the rip.
Like, was it slow burn as the first one or no? Oh, it's like that.
Yeah, a lot more like that with action and shit.
Mm.
A lot more, and that's part of the reason why I liked it a little more because it was just straight. The action was a lot more gangster. People getting murked and killing, and it was like, ah, yeah, yeah. This is what I expect when you talk about dealing with narcos and this type of content and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works in both avenues, and that's what I appreciate about those films because the first one highlights a more of a storied approach, as you call a slow burn, whereas the second one took more of just let's just get straight into the nitty gritty and the fuckery. I was still keeping similar elements with the first one in terms of the. Remember how the first one kept switching back to the random dad, the son of Mexico. The second film does the same thing, switching back to a random character and what he's doing and how that ties into the overall story arc and all that shit. So it's like that's cool and much appreciated. So it's like this was something where the second one was definitely a film where whoever directed that one saw what came before, respected what came before, and did his or her best effort to create something new in respect of what was. And I appreciate that. It wasn't like, fuck that, I'm gonna make whatever the fuck I want and you're gonna deal with it. No, it was very much within respects of what was. And you could tell that with the directing. And that's not something you see all the time because oftentimes with art, there's a lot of ego involved. So you could see a scenario where, like, I think we could talk about a scenario where this happened. I feel like Star Wars with having J.J. Abrams and then Ryan
Johnson.
Josh Whedon.
Oh no, it's not.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. Damn, I was right. So yeah, with Ryan Johnson, like having why they I don't know why they even did that shit. Here's 7, here's 8, and here's 9, and Abrams is gonna do 7 and 9, and Whedon's gonna do 8.
Johnson.
Whatever the fuck. Johnson, Ryan. I don't know who Whedon. Who's Josh Whedon? John Whedon. Who the fuck is that?
Joss Whedon did the first Avengers.
Oh shit, you're right.
The first 2 Avengers.
You're right.
And then he did that Justice League.
Yeah. Yes. Poor guy. So yeah, Ryan. I don't know why they have Ryan on this fucking on number 8, dog. It's like why would you conflict the story by having 2 different directors? But that was a great example. I feel of Abrams when it was going in this direction. Ryan was just like, I'm going in this fucking direction.
That's what kind of fucked up.
The both directions that they went, they both went in directions they shouldn't have went because he played it too safe. He played it too far away from safe, and then it just fucking turned to a travesty. And with Sicario, I feel like it was just nothing but respect in regards from the second one to the first one. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say go check it out. You know
okay, I'll check it out.
I'm not going to say, objectively, I'm not going to say it was better than the first one. I just enjoyed the ride a lot more because it's more of a gangster action feel. That's more based on my personality preference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you're into that sort of subject matter about narcos.
Yeah, I love that shit. I literally watched the narco shows. I watched the fucking documentaries. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't watched them yet.
I fucking love that shit.
I haven't watched them.
I'm sick in the head.
Like, I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch them.
We're going to have to steal you Netflix. We're going to have to steal you some Netflix, dog.
All right.
But so, you know what I'm saying? I thought Denis.
Yes.
Villeneuve.
It's hard to pronounce. Just say Villeneuve.
Yeah,
Denis
Villeneuve.
Just say V.
I thought he only did sci-fi-esque type of like really.
Well, I don't know if you.
He did that one film with the giant spider in it.
Yeah, Enemy. That was.
You know what I'm saying? Real psychological shit right there.
It was so mind-bending.
He's one of those directors that's like he doesn't get enough appreciation.
Most of his movies are underrated.
That's what I'm saying. He's very underrated. He doesn't get enough appreciation. And I would argue, and this might be controversial, but I would argue that based off of what I've seen from him, he's someone when at his best, I would say he could rival a Christopher Nolan. And it's how stark of a contrast his directing approach is that I feel like he's more often to hit his mark than Christopher Nolan is.
I thought the same thing.
With respects to Nolan, because Nolan is fucking phenomenal at his craft. The way he sees shit is fucking... I would love to see how he sees stories, you know what I'm saying, through his eyes. because he sees this shit in such a layered way. As like he's a real fucking writer. He understands this shit. But homie, Denny,
Mm-hmm.
he understands how to really craft a world. He understands how to create something that feels unique. Right, with Enemy.
Mm.
That's fucking a very unique story. Very different, I feel, than what was coming out at that time. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone was making like I said, it's a film, it's one of those just fuck with your mind for a second. You gotta really think about this story. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't nothing crazy written, but it was some more of a on the psychological level.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't even remember what year that came out.
The same year as Prisoners, 2013.
You said Prisoners?
Yeah.
The fuck was Prisoners?
That's another film of his.
Oh, so he was double backing it.
Yeah.
That's gangster. But no, who else was making something like Enemy in 2013? Or 2012 or in 2014? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When did Inception come out?
2010.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's definitely an inspiration there, probably. But he's a great director.
Well, he took inspiration from Bergman.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Bitch.
I don't know
You
names.
a bitch.
What did he do?
Well, he's a Swedish film director that directed Persona, which is the movie that solidified him that he wanted to be a director. And I see that resemblance in Enemy, because Persona is just as mind-bending as Enemy. Like it fucks with your head psychologically. That's the genius behind it. So you should check out Persona. It's a short film. It's on Max. It's also
How short are we talking?
80 minutes, 83 minutes.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It sounds familiar. Like I probably watched a video that went roughly like brought it up in passing. I know there's also a game called Persona, but that's something different. But no, yeah, he's definitely a director though that doesn't get the appreciation he deserves. I feel that. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And like I said, and it's crazy because his pen is that nice. And I think ultimately it's gonna come down to how this third Dune is.
I'm very hesitant about that because the book wasn't that great.
If it is as good as Dune 2 was, then I believe everyone will start looking at him with that respect of like, all right, he's nice. If it isn't, then I think people are gonna be shaky about him. But all that to say that when I saw Dune 1, it took me about 5 different attempts for me to finish that fucking movie.
5 attempts.
It was so boring. I was fucking dying watching. Beautiful fucking film. Outstanding score. Had it not been for Hans Zimmer's score, I would have fucking not watched the film. Oh my God. The score made the film for me. That was the only thing bearable about this shit. That fucking movie was terribly bad. Terribly slow. Terribly boring. No energy, no umph. I fucking was so pissed off when the homie died. Now let me explain. Now let me say this.
Motherfucker.
The Baron. There's something about the Baron, man, that always was. And this is a good thing. There's something about the Baron that always just bothered me.
What?
He made me there's an unsettlingness to his appearance in the first film. Right, seeing someone that fat just fucking float up like that. He's coming out of the black goop. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, he just made me uncomfortable. Like, someone your size shouldn't be doing the shit you doing, dog. He made me nervous. He ain't have none of that presence in the second film. Completely gone. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But the first film, even the action in the first film, I was like, oh my God, like this shit is so bad. The hand-to-hand fighting, I'm like, oh my God, like this is fucking terrible.
Can I say
something?
Absolutely. Guys, I'm gonna choke this motherfucker out in a minute.
He wishes.
I'm gonna choke him out.
Granted, I mean,
I'm gonna choke you out.
Your hands look like they big enough, but I don't think you'll be able to pull it off, though. But the action, the combat was just so fucking bad. I was like, oh my God, that shit was just boring. Like how you made fight scenes boring is like, wow. Like once again, had it not been for Hans Zimmer's soundtrack in the background, that shit would have just been a terrible experience. I love the creativity behind the designs. Fucking incredible. The designs for the spaceships, fucking incredible. The designs for the world, for Paul Atreides' homeworld, fucking
Caladan.
incredible. The way the water looked, and you CGI in water, that's a hard task to pull off. You know what I'm saying?
They actually shot that in a location.
So I don't know if this is. I don't know how much I believe any of that nonsense. Like, what you know what I'm saying? What did they have come out of the water to simulate that?
Ooh. Well, usually I don't watch behind the scenes because it destroys the magic of the movie.
Listen,
That's the bitch about it. But all I know
if
is
they
most
ain't
of
have
it was
nothing, if they
practical.
ain't have nothing practical coming out of the water to create that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like a miniature of the ship, then at that point they would have had some CGI going for it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I watched the VFX artists explain, and they went over that shit. I believe there was CGI because even the fucking practical, the fucking Mantis ships, that shit was not practical. That shit was fucking a CGI.
Mantis. What the fuck are you talking
Not
about?
Mantis, the Dragonfly ship.
Oh,
Dragonfly ship.
ornithopter. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
That shit was fucking. That shit was CGI.
I know.
Like
But
there's a lot of shit that was CGI in those films.
I'm referring to landscape wise.
Yeah, I'm talking about remember when the Atreides ship came out of the water?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was practical. I don't believe it was practical.
No, I made a mistake. I thought you were talking about the actual water.
No, I'm talking about it coming out of the water.
Oh yeah,
because
that was
the effects needed to do that and make it look that clean. I know, like once again, another Warner Brothers film where it's just like you all did not interfere at all. Why? I don't know. I'm glad they didn't. But I was just so perplexed. Like, why do they feel the need to interfere with the DCEU shit? It's so confusing to me. But nonetheless, beautifully shot, beautiful locations, beautiful fucking everything, beautiful score. The cast was dope for the most part, with the little bit of fucking. I'm not gonna say context they were given, but it's like the little bit of time they were actually given to actually, I feel like, really act. I feel like there was no true juice there on the fruit. You know what I'm saying? Every scene just felt very just relaxed and umph. Nothing felt, oh my gosh, like this is so like shocking, or like they're really pulling me in with the dialogue. Like it just didn't feel that way. Like the only scene that actually felt pulled me in, the only scenes were with the Baron, and then when the Silent Sisters were around. Is that what they're called? The witches?
Bene Gesserit.
The Bene Gesserit bitches.
Language.
I don't give a fuck. When they were around, but that's once again because of the score. The score that Hans Zimmer created for them was so just fucking amazing.
And he won for that.
And he should have.
Yeah, he did win.
The man's done everything. You know what I'm saying? He's done it all. He's done video games, fucking cartoons, everything.
Including The Lion King, baby.
I don't know if he's done horror movies. Matter of fact. I don't know if the world's ready for him to do a horror film.
I don't know if the Da Vinci Code counts.
I think it's more of a thriller.
Oh, okay.
Let's show you horror on some real, like, can you imagine a Hans Zimmer score behind something like fucking
The Conjuring?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Can you imagine a Hans Zimmer score behind The Conjuring? God damn. That would be fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I want to know what in his mind would strike fear in human beings.
Just give him one 3 pages of the script and he already has it.
Well, he doesn't. They don't just look at the script for that.
But that's what he did for Christopher Nolan in Interstellar.
But I imagine though, there should be typically there's a conversation there where it's just like, what emotion are you trying to give off? Unless, I mean, this Christopher Nolan, his writing could be that detailed where it's just like, and they had worked together with the Batman films, so it's just like, I'm sure Christopher Nolan was like, dog, I trust you, bro.
Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar.
That's what I'm saying. They worked in so much shit together. I'm sure he was just like, dog, you just do it. I trust you. Like, but yeah, with Dune 1, it was just like, that shit was boring as fuck. And everybody I've talked to, with the exception of you and one other person, feel the same way.
Who's the other person?
James.
James likes the movie? The first one?
He's the only one that's like, he's like, I didn't think it was boring.
awesome.
Dog. And this
I
is the
love
thing.
you.
I'm not saying it was a bad film.
Can I say it in camera?
No.
Damn.
No, you're not giving him that love.
Yes, I am.
No.
Yes, I am.
No.
Bitch.
Fuck that love. It's soft love. It's not real.
Pampangul.
But
All right. Anyways,
I'm not saying it was a bad film.
that's what you made it sound like.
It was a boring film. There's a difference.
Okay.
Objectively, in the grand scheme of things, it was a setup film. And setup it did. Right? Like, this is one of the things where it's like, you have to look at what comes after to justify what came before. If number 2 was ass, then number 1 is fucking ass. The saving grace of number 1 is film number 2, because all the work put into film number 1 to really build these worlds and flesh out these worlds and flesh out the environments and the culture of the, what was the tribe called?
The what?
The
Fremen.
The Fremen. Building the culture with the Fremen and all that, and building the disdain they have for the people that keep coming for the spice.
Mm-hmm. Spice harvesters.
Motherfuckers is coming for spice like it's cocaine.
Well, they are actual drug.
Oh.
Yeah, they're actual drugs in that universe.
I know.
Like
I
if you read the source,
if
you read the source
there's
material.
drugs in Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you read the source,
stick?
you read the source material.
No, I haven't got a chance to get to that yet.
Bitch.
I'm reading other shit. I just finished Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm reading Dante's Inferno right now.
Ooh, how's that one?
It's fucking amazing.
I've always wanted to read that one.
I feel like I need to go learn Italian and go buy the Italian version, because they said it's impeccable in the Italian version, and now I want to know. They said his rhyme scheme is one of the best rhyme schemes in history.
Ooh.
So it's like I want to know, like, what was that rhyme scheme? It's something that's never been properly replicated when they translate it to English or any other language. So it's like I want to know, like, how killer his scheme was.
I'm intrigued now.
But no, yeah, I imagine there's drugs in the verse.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's a setup film. In every sense of the word, it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? And so being a setup film, it did its job.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, it's like, no, it accomplished its task. It just, because it's a setup film, it was boring as. My bad. It's just a snooze fest, dog.
You're entitled to your own opinion.
No, yeah, me and the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Share that, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
But let me tell you something what's crazy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how sick it is that, like I said, the amount of people, and I'm talking about, I've met motherfuckers, having this conversation with motherfuckers who live in California.
California?
Who came out here, right?
Damn.
I'm talking about a motherfucker who does music videos for a living and filming and all that. Motherfucker has met Taylor Swift and worked with her before. And this motherfucker was like, yo, that shit's boring. I've talked to motherfuckers from New York talking about that shit, yo, it was fucking boring. I've talked to fucking violinists and all these different people from different backgrounds, different education levels. Everyone's like, yo, this fucking shit was boring. But once again, it's not a bad film. Because if it was a bad film, none of us would have went to see the second one.
Nah, it's too childish if I do that.
We wanted to see what the end result of the investment of time we did for the first one was.
Mm. And
I will say that for the second one, he knocked it out the fucking park. Home run hit. For fucking nominal. Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the first one?
Alrighty.
You're wrong.
What?
That's the end of the video. Now imagine.
You bitch. I would have kicked your ass. Alright. Oh, baby. Alright. First off. Alright. Where should I go?
Wherever you want, dog. How do you feel about the acting? Let's go there.
Okay. I love the performances in the film. Like,
I
overall.
imagine your best performance you felt was Zendaya. You know, her and her 30 seconds of screen time in the first one where she didn't even say anything.
I love you, stupid.
You all caught off. You don't even know what to say.
I'm gonna kick your ass for that.
You know, here's a fun fact.
Send you a genius.
People try suing them over that.
Oh, please.
False advertisement, what they said.
No, it's not. If they read the fucking book, they need to learn to read.
No, like false advertisement from the movie perspective because of how heavily she was used during the press tour and all that. Which I think is the real reason why they didn't have Anya Taylor-Joy on the press run like that. because like we didn't try to get hit with a false advertisement lawsuit again.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they won the court case, I'm pretty sure, or it didn't even make it to the court because the judge was like, "I'm not dealing with this nonsense."
It's stupid.
No, but proceed acting.
Oh, acting. I would say that the ensemble is on point.
Mhm.
Like when I read the book, I was like, this is like the best casting for the characters. Like they were right for the part.
Mhm.
And I was like amazed on how this man envisaged this world,
Mhm.
this narrative of Caladan to Arrakis. Like he captured that essence of the first phase of the novel. Like they were it was like political side before we went to the epic side in part two, even though we'll get to that when we get to that precise, right?
Mhm.
But in part one, it did capture the same awe of the novel, I should say.
Mhm.
But I have to admit, even though I was excited for it, there were a lot of changes for the book, but it still feels like that the author Frank Herbert, it felt like he made this movie
Mhm.
alongside Denis. Like it was like through it's like how do I describe it? It was like um it was like that it was like through Frank Herbert's eyes.
Mhm.
Like when you read the book, like that's in a way that's how I pictured it when I read the book. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
No, it is.
I hope you I hope you get where I'm
No,
going
I hear
from,
you. I hear
and
you.
I don't want you to get lost.
Oh, I hear you. You're not saying nothing crazy.
Oh, okay. All right, where else was I?
I mean, we were just talking about you were just talking about how you feel like he captured the essence of Frank Herbert,
Yeah,
and that Frank Herbert would be proud if he was to see this shit.
yeah, like that. But it felt like Frank Herbert made the movie
Mm.
himself. Like I was amazed on how this man just crafted this movie.
How he brought it to life.
Yeah, how he brought it to life, baby. Like like Timothy did
That's my
this.
dog.
Like he's like the
He's great.
yeah. In other words, he's a perfect.
He's great in everything he's in.
Like he's a perfect. It was like the most perfect casting I should ever describe.
Mm.
Like to me, like he's like like he actually looks like Paul Atreides in the book. The way Herbert described him, it was like I was like he does look like Paul Atreides.
Skinny, dark hair.
Yeah, but the author goes into detail in the books, like it's so in detail, like like you screw it. I'm just gonna say it. This movie opened my eyes to the poetic expressiveness of science fiction cinema.
Mm.
But when I read the novel, it opened my eyes to the science fiction genre as a whole. Like from that point forward, I wasn't able to look at other science fiction films the same again, like
Mm.
Star Wars. Like now, looking at Star Wars now, like I tried going back to it and uh, trying to revisit the childhood. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Mm.
Be able to help me out with that?
You just wanted to revisit the films.
Yeah, like bring out the inner child, the magic, to see if it still has the same magic when I was younger. But turns out it didn't.
I mean,
Listen,
I don't think it's a
just hear
fair
me out.
comparison.
I, well, technically,
And the reason, no, the reason, why, no, because
listen.
I know what you're gonna say already.
But they say George Lucas
No, listen. This
stole
is
it.
why I'm gonna say it's not a fair comparison. When the fuck did anyone look at George Lucas and say, you know what? He compares, and in his writing, he's as good as a fucking Christopher Nolan at his best.
No, he's not.
That's what I'm fucking saying. If you gave Christopher Nolan or Denny
Yes.
the opportunity to make a Star Wars film, I imagine that shit would be on that level. But that's the problem. It's like, who are the other fuckers that they allowed to have the right to make a Star Wars film? Ryan and fucking Abrams.
Those are.
Now Ryan, this is the thing with Ryan. His writing is good.
Yeah,
And I would
absolutely.
argue that if that was a random Star Wars film, not my bad. If that was a random sci-fi film,
Yeah.
that if take away Star Wars Episode 8, whatever the fuck it was called,
The Last Jedi.
take away that name, rebrand it as its own independent sci-fi film, I think everyone would have loved the fuck out of it. I think
Without
everyone,
the lightsabers and without the boo 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 boo.
him being able to create his own world, yes.
Okay.
I think everyone would have fucking fell in love with what he would have created. Because objectively, it's not The Last Jedi objectively isn't a bad sci-fi film. It's a bad Star Wars film,
Yeah,
but it's
I
not
would
a
agree.
bad sci-fi film. And that's the shit. J.J. Abrams'
Interesting.
approach is just bad. J.J. Abrams shit was just you're
Are you
just
referring to Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker?
both
What's wrong with?
bad.
Well, I'm not into Star Wars anymore, but like in a way, what's wrong with The Force Awakens? Because
You
from what I
played
remembered,
he
I
played
loved it. I was in love with the
he
film.
played too close in my opinion to and to a degree I understand it. But you're playing too close to number 4 and number 1. And I understand that George Lucas purposely wanted number 1 and number 4 to be like to be similar in the annals of and number 4 New Hope blew up the fucking Death Star. And number 1 Anakin blew up the fucking giant droid space station saving the day.
Oh yeah.
There's perpendicular storytelling going on with Anakin's story and Luke's story. That's purposeful.
It's a Skywalker saga, and
So it's purposeful that that's transpiring. I understand that. And I saw a video years ago that really broke this shit down. Even how it ties back into number 6 and with that type of parallel storytelling and all that shit. And it's like it's really smart how it's supposed to be. It's not that it executed in the best fashion. But with respects to Force Awakens, you don't have to at this point. You don't have to just try to recreate the magic that was there with those.
recycled material, huh?
You don't have to do that, and that's all he did. You know what I'm saying? And once again, we enter a film where it's just like a band of rebels happen to take down essentially Nazi Germany. That's what the stormtroopers are based off of. Nazis. The stormtroopers are supposed to be based off Nazis. Like that was George Lucas's with them. It was like
Interesting.
You have a band of rebels here who the Empire literally just blew up an entire fucking damn near solar system. They blew up fucking like 6 planets.
Yeah.
And they just the rebels just casually came in, fucked the day up, and then boom, blew up the whole. At a certain point, your villains have to be actual threats. And in that one, they weren't a threat. In The Last Jedi, they weren't a threat. And then
you didn't take it seriously.
They are not taking it serious because at a certain point, once again, it's just like, how many times are the bad guys supposed to lose? Right? Remember when you're not making them credible threats because they keep losing at the end of every film. I think about Alien for a second.
Hold on a sec. Before we move forward, are we going off topic or no? Or is this relevant to the conversation?
It's gonna come back. It's all about sci-fi for a second. It's like
okay.
Even talking about like Alien for a second, it's just like there's a certain energy about, and I know how we can tie back in. There's a certain energy with like Alien, how every film the aliens lose.
Yeah.
And you look at the Predator films, and every film the Predator loses.
Yeah.
And there is this conversational outcry that's going on right now where it's just like people want the Predator to win. People are asking now, they want to see the alien win. Because at the end of the day, you're toting the alien to be this perfect specimen, this perfect killing machine. And in every film, at the very end of it, it loses. And then the Predator, who is the most
skilled
alpha fucking apex predator literally in the universe, always fails at the very end of it to beat the man, to beat the human. And all right. Now I loved Prey, regardless of the fact.
I never saw it.
Great fucking film. But you know what I'm saying? So all that to say is that there's a certain thing about being a great writer and then the property in which you're working on. Star Wars never had a great writer and director behind it. Ever. I'd say the closest they got to it was what we got with Rogue One.
The Rogue One was.
Other than that, it was just like it's just carelessness and just simple mistakes and shit like that for storytelling. When you look at Denis, he takes pride in the craft and tries to fine-tune a story that does not have plot holes in it. He tries to really flesh out and think about how everything matters from point A to Z. That's why I don't think it's a fair comparison for you to bring up like this and that, Star Wars and that. I understand that there was inspiration taken was in from the book to his fucking literal story, but it's like there's also so many other pieces of inspiration that what Dune was inspired off of, and other shit that Lucas stole from or was inspired off of. I don't want to say stole because stole is not the right word. It was inspiration.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that he was inspired off of, but
Kurosawa particularly.
Right? So it's like, but even in the annals of like creating a strong villain, Paul Atreides and the boys lost at the end of the day in the first one. They lost.
Well, the thing is,
But that's good.
But I want to say something about that.
But it's good because it created this credible threat in the, I don't know what the fuck they were called.
Harkonnens.
In the Harkonnen, it created a credible
Harkonnens
threat.
and Carino. Sardaukar, they collaborated in taking down the Atreides.
I don't know who the fuck the other guys are.
So the Sardaukar with the Emperor, you know, the skilled ones with the swords, like the ones that they killed Duncan, Jason Momoa. I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the thing about that, why
tired of seeing my homie die.
Fuck Jason Momoa.
That's my
no
guy.
offense.
That's my guy. I'm tired of seeing him die in content.
Wait, how many times did he die?
I don't know. I know he died in Game of Thrones. He died in that shit, man.
I've only seen him in Aquaman.
I never seen Aquaman.
Ooh, interesting. I thought you did.
No.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Not a fan of DC. And I was never a fan of Aqualad specifically.
Wait, what?
I've never been a fan of Aqualad.
Aqualad.
The
fuck.
I don't take Aquaman serious. There are comics where he's fucking gangster, goon, savage, but fuck Aquaman.
Okay.
But
yeah.
No, yeah. So all right. So the Harkonnen and whatever, like they made them a credible threat.
Yeah, but
great. You know what I'm saying? And when we get to when you see the second film, the only issue I had with that credible threat was literally Batista's character.
Yeah. Well, is it cool if I explain or express how I feel about the dynamic between villains and good guys for this topic?
Go ahead.
Like when I read the book, like even after I finished the book, I revisited the film and I still loved it. But the thing that really struck me about this world is that there's no such thing as a good guy or bad guy bullshit that we see nowadays.
It's like in our world.
I just love that it's more greed for power, like we see
realistic.
Like in modern politics, even though, do I have the right to say that?
Just in life.
Yeah, in life, like they're all greedy for one thing in that particular story: spice and money. In a way, I don't know if
there's power at the end of the day.
Greed of power. But yeah, that's what it is. Like I just love that aspect.
Good and bad is circumstantial.
What?
Good and bad is all circumstantial.
Like
yesterday's friend is tomorrow's enemy. It's all circumstantial. It all depends on how things go today. You know what I'm saying? But nothing is absolute.
Yeah, like you know, I don't like, at least that
Paul Atreides literally just in the second film he declared war against the whole known universe. Mm-hmm. And we already know Holy War. We already know that's gonna cause massive genocide shit and fucking starvation and motherfuckers civilians dying. Like you can't sit here and say he's a hero.
I'm not saying he's a hero at all. He's a dark messianic figure, and you told me this after we got out the screening for part 2, that he's like a warrior. Like Herbert intentionally wanted him to be like a dark messianic figure, like he clarified it in the second book, Dune Messiah. But I don't know if you know where I'm going from with this. Do you know?
I'm trying to understand.
Are you lost?
I'm trying to understand exactly what you're asking me.
I'm not asking, but well, are you lost?
Not really.
Oh, good. All right, where was I? Like I get panicky, man. God, bear with me.
You were talking about fucking. We were having a slight discussion about just villains and heroes, and in this world, there's no
such thing.
Objectively,
there's no such thing in a way in this universe.
No, I imagine there's probably. Well, I'm not going to say that because
I don't believe that's the way. I don't see it that way.
Austin Butler's character.
He's pure evil.
That's what I'm saying. So
But the
you
thing
can't
is,
say like there's no real evil. Like no, that motherfucker was evil, right? And
I
then,
know, but
then on the flip side of that, Paul Atreides' his father. He was a objectively good
he was a good man.
man. Hence why he ended up getting killed the way he did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't sit here and say like, oh well, that doesn't exist. Like, no, there are individuals who are inherently just this is a villain and this is a hero, and then there's everyone in between, and typically everyone else in between lies within the realms of being in between. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's also realistic because in our own lives, it's very few and far between that we come across a human being that is objectively, yes, this is a really good person. Like, wow, shirt off their back would help anybody. Doesn't matter what the time or year it is. Like, time of day, it could be 3 a.m. in the morning, they'll get up and help somebody. It could be fucking a blizzard outside and they'll go and help somebody. That's very rare that you come across a human being like that. But on the other end of it, it's very rare that you come a human being that's just so absent of fucking life that they're just a utter fucking monster and they kill and destroy and do evil, wicked shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never come across an individual like that in my time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I've came across the hero once, maybe twice. But the villain, I've never came across that. I've met a lot of in-betweens. So it's like within respects to Dune, it's just very realistic within that regard of characters. You have a lot of in-betweens. There are a lot of characters operating within the throes of gray. And then you have the very few, like I said, Paul Atreides' pops. What was his name?
Leto,
my boy.
Duke Leto.
That's my homie, son.
May he rest in peace.
I can never remember the name. Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac's a great fucking actor too.
Perfectly casted.
That's my fucking guy right there.
Everybody was perfectly casted.
He's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fucking phenomenal. Everything he's in, man. But and then you have, like I said, Austin Butler's character.
Mm-hmm. Fade Routher.
Fade. He's gangster. He wanted to fade with everybody. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just objectively he's evil.
Yeah,
Sick in the head.
but I hope you get where I was going from with what I was trying to explain before.
What were you trying to explain?
Like
Paul Atreides' character?
Like everything, like in the essence of the universe, I don't see it as good guy, bad guy, greed for power. That's all I looked at it.
When I was you brought all that up because I brought up Batista's character.
Yeah.
What's his character's name?
Rabin.
Rabin?
Yeah, Rabin. Yeah. I always have a hard time.
He's soft.
He was, in a way, I think he was like that in the books. Yes, he was, in a way. He always tried to look tough, but, I
think my only issue is like...
He tried to be tough, but he just fails miserably.
I think my only issue is that coming from watching like Guardians of the Galaxy, where I see his character, Drax, what's his name?
Drax.
There you go. Drax. And it's just like they turned Drax into such a comedic relief character that
I don't find no comedy in that character.
He wasn't imposing on some gangster goon, I'm gonna fucking murder you. And in the comic, there's a comic book where he ripped out Thanos' heart.
Drax?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Like, who the comic book is and who the movie is very far apart. Very far apart. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I already saw you play one character where it was just like very... the character felt like it was supposed to be serious, and then they didn't go that route. And then here you are in Dune, where it's just like, your character's trying to be serious. But it's just... I think it was the action sequences with his character, the very few that were in the first one with him. It was just like, it was just bad action sequences, dog. And then the second one... It
wasn't that bad.
And then in the second one, they were just boring. And then the second one, you have him, all right, which is funny as fuck to think about.
What?
Because it's like...
Oh, is it the end with him and Gurney?
But no, who is Gurney?
Josh Brolin.
Who was Josh Brolin in Marvel?
Thanos.
Who the fuck was Batista in Marvel?
Okay, I get your pattern now.
Very funny,
I think I get it now.
Because in Marvel, he wanted to kill Thanos because Thanos killed my family, and you weren't the one that kills him, and then here you are in Dune, and it's just like you ain't kill him again either. Like every time him and Josh Brolin are across from each other, he never gets to kill. And this time Josh Brolin killed his ass, and technically Josh Brolin killed him in Infinity War with the snap. So it's like Josh Brolin is 2-0 against Batista. I'm gonna throw that out there.
They technically died in with the snap.
I mean, where else did they go for 2 years? They weren't just
4
hanging out.
years.
Yeah, all right, 4 years. Where else did they go? You know what I'm saying? They came back the same age. Them motherfuckers. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, you're dead. It was just like erasing them from history, the annals of history type shit. Because none of them have yet to talk about, oh yeah, I saw God. Like in the comics, heaven exists and all that. Asgard, like all the heavens, Asgard, all that shit exists, and then you know what I'm saying? All that's there. God is literally a character in the Marvel universe. So it's like none of them have talked about, oh yeah, I went to heaven.
They didn't mention that
No.
in the comics or in the movies.
No, I'm saying in the movies, no one's had that conversation.
Oh,
So it's just like I think they were just they were completely erased, like if they never existed in the first place. And to me, that counts as you got fucking killed. If I erased your existence, I'm fucking killing you. I'm wiping you from. So Thanos and Josh Brolin got 2 kills over Batista. I'm just throwing that out there. Hilarious to me. But that fight was just that shit was a disappointment.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, the fuck it was.
No, it wasn't.
That shit was a terrible disappointment.
No, it wasn't.
I'm gonna pull out my whip.
What the hell was wrong with the fight? Well, I know what you're gonna say because we had this conversation before, but say it to the audience.
I don't even remember what I told you before, but I'm like, just within respect, it was just the fact that Josh Brolin's character is coming with a vengeance, and then the fight didn't even last 5 seconds. Like
that was gangster.
No, it was just.
I thought that was gangster. I thought that was dope.
I would have rather Batista's character had gotten away, and they had the fight in the third film, because at that point you could build towards it versus just. I don't even remember why you wanted to kill Batista, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because
it was so far away because of whatever the fuck happened in the first film. It's just like you didn't give us a flashback. You didn't really talk about it. Besides you saying, "Oh, I've lost people too." Yo, yeah,
he mentioned it to Chani before Paul gave that powerful speech.
You mentioned like, yeah, I lost people too, whatever.
And the scar, and Rabin gave him this scar to remember him by. So this is all my business.
I remember him getting the scar.
Seriously? Nope. Before the speech?
No, I'm saying getting the scar, receiving the scar.
Oh, that was dude.
I remember that.
He mentioned it in part 2.
But dude. I'm saying, did we see that happen in Dune 1?
No.
And there you fucking go. If you would have presented me with seeing that visually, boom, oh, Batista, I would have remembered, yo, Batista scarred him. And now he's gonna go get that. He's gonna go get the body. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna catch the fade.
Do you get bothered by every single minor detail?
Shit like that, yeah. Because it's like,
what's wrong with that, dude?
Because I thought I didn't give a fuck. When Batista's character died, it was just like, who cares? Like the scene's intention is just supposed to be like, yo, Josh Brolin, yeah, he got the payback, he got the vengeance. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care because to me it was just like, it was just such a afterthought with everything else going on. It was just, not everything in writing is going to be perfect. I understand that, and that this is proof to it. It wasn't a bad scene in terms of like visually, like, oh shit, cool. At least instead, I don't like the fact that he pulled out a fucking whip. Well, like, why the whip? Why not a sword? Why not? I would have respected it more if they would have threw hands, fists. And I get it, because you have Paul Atreides versus Fade Rafa, and they're doing the knife shit, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to do a scene that would cause a direct comparison between the two. But at that point, all right, so fuck the weapons. I'm gonna beat your ass and kill him that way. I would have appreciated anything but what we got. It was just like, yeah, it just wasn't, to me. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. And a little bit of them showing him getting scarred in the first one probably would have made the first one a little bit more exciting. And it was just, the first one was a snooze fest.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
So it's like, yeah, but listen, you're not gonna do
it's your opinion.
You're not gonna do the little bit to make this part of your story interesting. It's not gonna be interesting. So when we get to it in the second movie, it wasn't fucking interesting, and that's just the way it goes. Do you have anything else you want to say about the first film?
The first film. Well, outside of Hans Zimmer's powerful score, and I wrote a review about it a while ago.
Go on Letterboxd. Look at this fucking review.
Yeah, baby. I'll give you the.
Tell them the name.
My name. Well, the link is going to be in description.
Tell them anyway.
It's Will H0825, and my profile picture is obviously Fade Routha. It's obviously Fade Routha. It's obvious.
So I think we can put a pin on Dune 1 because we keep jumping into Dune 2, and I think we both want to talk about Dune 2 more than 2 1.
Well, they're both simultaneously connected in a way. They're both connected, anyways.
They are both connected. I'm gonna give Dune. Listen, just hit the star rating for Dune 1, and we could just jump right more into Dune 2. Go ahead.
5 stars, bitch.
Crazy. I'm giving it 2 stars.
Motherfucker.
And it only becomes a 2.5.
Motherfucker.
It only becomes a 2.5
Because of Hans Zimmer.
No, because of how good number 2 was. Because that was the proof. And I'll even say it gets 3 stars. Because with how good 2 was, it was proof that the building you did for 1 works.
Motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Despite how fucking boring it was, it
wasn't.
It
was not boring, bitch.
It was horribly boring. One of the most boring experiences of my cinematic life. It was number 1.
Okay, before we move on, do I have the right to mention the book or express how much I love the book? Well, part 2.
You already did it.
Well, we're about to go to part 2, and I'm about to express the way I feel about it. Cause, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah.
All right. So, would you like to start off? How would you like to start off, bitch? I call you a bitch for a reason. Cause Dune Part 1 is a goddamn masterpiece. Yes, it is.
Listen, you couldn't even argue that. That's what I'm gonna say. You couldn't even argue that. You couldn't even articulate it with your words to combat the shit I said. It was really the bitch. I'm gonna buy you a mirror.
A mirror?
That's what you're getting for Christmas.
How
A mirror.
am I supposed to fight? I express how I feel about the film.
Listen, let me explain something.
Oh shit! I really got.
I was so hyped when I saw Anya Taylor-Joy in Dune 2. I fuck with her.
She's a decent actress.
She's great. Everything she's in. The action in Dune 2, so much better than Dune 1.
Totally.
The fight scene between Fade
and Paul.
Phenomenal. Outstanding. Kudos to them. Because typically when it comes to action sequences, when you don't have a character or the actor is wearing a mask or anything that covers their face, they can't swap them for the stuntman.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler may have actually had to learn the fucking actual choreography for the fight scene. I'm not 100% on that. There's certain camera angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had to learn that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled it off. Great fight scene.
Totally, man.
I was just questioning a little bit the Emperor.
What about the Emperor?
He was just so dull.
Bitch.
He was dull. And I blame that more on at this point, after everything you said, I blame that on who wrote the book? What's his name?
Frank Herbert.
I blame that on Frank Herbert.
Because
if he's accurate to Frank Herbert's story, then damn, then Frank Herbert just made a boring Emperor. Like
it goes
and
deeper.
Clearly,
the book has a lot more depth.
I hope
because
he seems like he's going through an existential crisis that he like. But isn't actually making it known what his crisis is or crises is, and it might be that he's just old and doesn't want to be in the position he wants to be in anymore. And he's just waiting on death so his daughter can take over. I don't know, dog. But he just seems so dull, and I was questioning the decision as to who they chose to be him.
Christopher Walken.
I love Christopher Walken.
He's impeccable, dude.
He's great, but I was just like
the Deer Hunter.
He was the my least favorite part of the film.
You bitch.
100%. I was like,
still green.
I was like this.
Bitch.
I just don't like I didn't like or care for the presentation of the Emperor. I loved every scene with Florence Pope. She killed that shit. Then you have the Bene Gesserit bitches again.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I noticed from she was in a video game.
What? Who?
One of the Bene Gesserits, the one that went to talk to Fade. She's in the video game Death Stranding. So when I saw her, I was like, oh, shit.
Lady Margot Fenring.
That shit was dope. No, Fade killed it. Like I said earlier, the Baron lost some of his aura to me in that one. But also, then he was wounded. You know what I'm saying? He needed the help to breathe after the fucking poison.
Mm-hmm.
So that might have been it. Batista was still the same old Batista. I love Batista though. He's gangster. The character was alright.
Bitch.
He's a very alright character. Um, Josh Brolin's character, Gurney.
Gurney Halleck.
I think my problem with Josh Brolin is, with the exception of Thanos, everything I've seen him in, and obviously the exception of Goonies.
He was in the Goonies?
Yeah, he's the older brother in the Goonies.
Well, I hadn't seen that movie in God knows how long.
Yeah, he was the older brother in the Goonies.
Wow.
With the exception of those few films, he feels like he's playing the same character. Like, I would argue his character in Sicario really reminds me of just his character Gurney, and it's just in his other films that I feel the same way about.
What about No Country? Well, you haven't seen
I
No
haven't
Country.
seen that. How many times I gotta tell you that?
I'm gonna.
Like,
I feel like choking you. I'm not gonna stop mentioning it to you until you watch the fucking movie.
and I probably never will.
Yes, you will.
I doubt it, dog.
Yes, you will.
I doubt it.
No Country for Old Men is a masterpiece.
I don't know. Everything you said was a masterpiece. Wasn't a masterpiece. So I gotta doubt your critique. I gotta doubt your assumption. I know you're scared right now.
Yeah, I know.
You're scared because if I watch that movie, I'm gonna find flaws that you haven't seen, and it's gonna hurt you.
It's a good fucking movie, bitch.
I can't wait to find the flaws if I ever decide to watch it.
You will watch it, motherfucker.
A nice way to hurt you.
I don't care about the flaws.
And that's the problem. But the scoring Dune 2 was dope.
Mm-hmm.
The scene setting dope. I love the worm riding. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic between
straight out of the fucking book.
The dynamic between Zendaya and Paul Atreides,
Chani,
has me wishing that they would cast Timothée Chalamet as fucking Harry Osborn, just so I could see him and Tom Holland fight over Zendaya. I would fucking pay to see that shit, dog.
Oh my god,
that would be fucking amazing because Harry Osborn got things for MJ, so it's like I would fucking love for them to do that because we already know they got the chemistry based off of Dune 2. Sony needs to fucking figure it out. They got to make that shot. That should be fucking pristine. One thing I was curious about, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, in the opening scene with the Harkonnen and they're searching the area, they all got killed hella easy, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to those shields that they had in the first film? Do they have to actually manually turn them on? Because remember when he was training in the first film, he threw the knife and it caught the knife for a little bit. Like we saw with the missile launcher, right? It caught the missile and blew. Where the fuck were these guys' shields?
Justin, I don't know if you heard, but if they put on the shields in the desert, it attracts the sandworms.
Because it's vibrating, right?
Yes.
See, there you go. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't a critique. It was like, I'm curious. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you put on the shield, it's a death sentence in the desert. That was what Liet Kynes told Paul in the movie.
Which one?
Liet Kynes?
No, which fucking movie did he say that?
Part 1.
That's the prime. Part 1 was a fucking snooze fest.
I'll kick you in the nuts.
Took me 5 fucking tries to see that shit.
I'll kick you in the nuts.
You're not that coordinated. You literally slipped on air and fell.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not coordinated enough for that. Stop with the empty threats.
And I mean that with love. I'm just joking.
I was also fucking curious. I'm like, where the fuck are the Fremen getting all this technology to shoot down the fucking Harkonnens shit?
They create it in a way. They know how. They know.
I'm supposed to believe these native fucks are just casually creating.
What's your dog?
Fucking goddamn laser beams to take down the fucking harvester ships.
They might have stole it while they were fighting the Harkonnens. They've been fighting for centuries.
Oh, of course they've been fighting forever, but it's like that shit was just like weird. I'm like, every time I watch it, I'm like, where the fuck did they get
how many times did you watch it?
3 times.
I watch it twice a week.
And the problem is you don't have an answer. Did the book ever answer that?
Oh, figure out for yourself, dude.
That tells me no, because if you actually had the answer, you would have said it. You would have said it the moment I asked it in regards to the movie. So the book doesn't.
I don't want to spoil
address
it
it.
for the audience. I want
You
them to figure out
spoiled all this
themselves.
other shit for the audience. Let me explain since you. It's okay if you don't have the answer. It's okay if the book didn't do it. This goes into the realm of
Like I don't want to
this. Let me
accidentally.
explain something. This goes into the realm of what we were talking about how certain authors just leave shit to for you to figure out. Ambiguous. You leave shit ambiguous. That's fine. It was just a question. I'm not critiquing the film or the fact that you didn't
Give
give me an
false
answer on this.
information. That's why.
I
I didn't
didn't
want to
say you don't know.
accidentally misinterpret or.
And also fine and dandy.
Okay. Yeah, I personally don't know.
I'm just saying that shit stuck out to me. Like, like every time I watch it, I'm like, where did they get this tech? Because nowhere in what we're shown we see that like they have that shit just lying around there or anything. Like, you know what I'm saying, something like that shit threw me for a little bit of a loop. I love the outfits that they had. Florence Pugh, the princess, in.
Yeah.
I love the outfits that she had. Her outfits was fucking gangster. She was hard. She was straight gangster. Especially the one that was like the chainmail.
Mhm.
That shit was fire. I was like, damn, no, that shit is hard. Fuck out of here. That shit was crazy. So it was like, a lot of the shit about that film was great.
Good.
A lot of shit. There's not much that was like, all right, whack. I did also think it was weird that at the very end of the film, it's like when they're leaving the planet, the ships they're in, I'm like, these aren't ships that you're gonna go to war in. These don't look like battleships. They just like look like transport ships.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if all the other houses are literally right there with actual ships to shoot you, why are you going up there with these transport ships? Where are you? That felt odd to me. I'm hoping we get some context regarding that in the next film.
I'm hesitant. I am really hesitant about that movie.
I mean,
the way the book was, I'm really hesitant how he's gonna pull it off.
there's what 6 books? I'm sure.
Yeah, 6 books.
Damn.
So we're looking at 12 movies.
He's not doing 12 films.
No, I'm referring to the franchise as a whole. 12 movies.
Because the first 2 films are only the first book.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not gonna green light 12 fucking films.
I hope they just do it as just a trilogy on Paul's story arc.
He wasn't even sure if he was gonna fucking do the third film.
I knew that.
Up until he finally decided he wasn't gonna do it, but it's like he wasn't sure if he was gonna do that shit. And part of it was because he wasn't sure if he'd be able to pull it off with how good the second one was. So it's like they're not going past 3. Ideally, I don't think you need to. It's just like finish.
Yeah, because I was really reminiscing it to my friend's mother, and I told her, I love the movie adaptations and I love the books with all my heart, but I just can't succumb the fact that they can't. I feel like it's gonna be impossible to pull off in a way, like most of it feels unadaptable in a way. Like that's what most people described it. Like I don't know. Like it's elusive for me to explain it, but I feel like that the books have so much depth and detail. I don't think I'm able to. It has to, in a way, it has to be done by the same passion as same passion from a director.
I'm not gonna say
Like it has to be passionate. The director has to be passionate about them if they're gonna do it. Like Denis Villeneuve did it.
I don't know if there's anything that can't be translated into a live action.
I don't know.
When you literally have a novel source material.
Yeah, but deep down there's a lot.
I think the question comes in at that point. What would it be better, do a film or a show? You can if you're willing to create and I wonder if this is why they're testing the waters with the show about the Bene Gesserits, because their intention is to, after the third one, wait like a year or 2 and then come out with a show continuing the rest of the story.
They're gonna release a show this year.
I know, but I'm saying you wait a year or 2 after the third film. If the show is successful, if this Bene Gesserit show is successful, when the third film comes out, whenever it comes out,
and
they can, if both are successful, they can have a serious conversation where it's just like, maybe we don't make the rest of it into movies, we just go the show route on some Game of Thrones level type shit. It was a Game of Thrones level production and writing, and at that point you would be able to, in theory, adapt it. Because to me, you saying there's so much detail there. It's just like I don't believe there's anything you can't necessarily adapt, right? I believe the only person that I feel like no one can adapt, and it's obvious with how every time they try to adapt his work, it doesn't work. Whether it's fucking, and it's majority is video games.
H.P. Lovecraft.
And the reason why it's H.P. Lovecraft is simply because his work thrives on your own creativity as the reader.
No wonder they're so hard to read.
Him using certain details and certain words to describe a being of a mass of tentacles and eyes, and that causes pure insanity, and whoever witnesses it, like, how do you truly depict something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, with the details that he uses and the lack thereof of details and the context that's just around it. There's more context around what he creates. It creates this uneasy atmosphere to the reader where you're left to your own devices to really try imagining what it is. Hence why science fiction that's horror-based works, because the scariest thing in existence is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
So it's like when you try to visualize that unknown fear, it doesn't end up scary anymore. So that's why it's like H.P. Lovecraft shit fails. So with the respects to Dune and the rest of the mythology, I'm like, I don't know if they'll suffer from that if they were to get greenlit for a show. Because with a show, you have more time to operate with, and you can be a lot more patient with building a story and flushing it out, especially the characters. You lose a little pizzazz for the big screen, but you can get the story across. And that little bit of pizzazz isn't saying much when you see like the scenes in Game of Thrones or House of the Dragons with the fucking dragons. There's certain scenes in those fucking shows that are literally better than certain shit that came out in the movie with the last 3 years. So it's like, presence is a hell of a thing. It's just what you do with the budget you're given and the time you're allotted. So I really believe if they would give, I can picture Warner Brothers doing some shit like that. Because Warner Brothers likes taking risks that don't make sense. And I feel like that's a risk that they would take. Because I don't know anyone in the history of film who's done that. We're going to do 3 movies. And then the rest of it, it's going to be a show.
Can you give me an example who did that?
I'm saying no one's ever done that.
I'm intrigued now.
I'm saying no one's ever done that. So I can't give you an example.
Oh, so it's never been done.
That's what I'm saying. It's never been done. That's like us getting episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars, and then George Lucas is like, all right, 1, 2, and 3, TV shows. What do you mean? That's weird. Like it doesn't sound right. But in this day and age of streaming and big budget streaming shows, it makes sense. And to the audience, you're giving it to us for free. I can definitely see Warner Brothers doing some stupid shit like that. And it's only stupid. It's one of those things where it's like everybody loves a bad idea when it works. And that's one of those things that it could work very well in their favor if they don't want to keep trying to adapt the rest of the books into movies.
Well, I feel like the rest should be left alone as books.
They might be.
Like I would love for them to say, you know what, we did the Atreides storyline. We're just gonna leave it alone.
You know,
I would love them. Like I would be happy, joy if they did that. That's just me. That's just my perception.
It's just
and my
most
opinion.
of those companies. It's not just one of those, but most of those companies, Disney's, the Sony's, the Paramounts, they don't know how to leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
They will fucking milk the cow until the udder is fucking dry and keep trying to find a way to milk it some more. They beat the horse dead until it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I can see them trying to flush it out. Hence why we're getting this Bene Gesserit TV show. Because they want to milk that as much as they can.
To be honest, I'm not going to watch it. That's just me.
Do you have HBO Max?
Even if I wanted to, I'm never going to watch it.
Do you have?
No.
All right, so I don't want to hear that.
What do you mean?
Fucking guy. I'm not going to watch it. That doesn't mean nothing. You can't watch it if you wanted to because you don't got Max.
Yeah.
So what are you really saying? Nothing.
I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah, because you don't got Max.
And it'll be coming out on Blu-ray anyways.
Soft energy. So I'm gonna tell you, sure.
It'll be coming out on Blu-ray anyways.
Let me explain something to you, man.
What?
Dune 2 was great.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece, bitch.
It was
I'm sorry.
fine.
I'm just confident because I don't know what else any negative criticism you're gonna give.
I don't think there's any more negative criticism there.
You're talking to something. You're talking about
Yeah, I'm
something
talking to
that I
something.
love, what I love, and if you give negative criticism to what I love, and if you give Pulp Fiction negative criticism, we're gonna be having beef. Yeah.
It's surprising because all you eat is chicken.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't even know about that, does it? So.
Pulp Fiction? I'm talking about
So.
Pulp Fiction, not chicken.
It went right over your head. Don't worry, when it plays back, one of your friends will tell you.
I think they will.
They'll explain it to you. And be sure to give me a call when they explain it to you.
Indeed, I will.
Whether or not I pick up is beyond me. But overall,
anyways,
the film was good, though. Now, it did its thing. The writing was good. The characters were good. The set design's great. I'm saying the atmosphere created. The music was great. The outfits worn, wardrobe, fucking great. The action was great. All around, it was a super solid film. Like it made the boringness of the first one fucking worth it, and that's something that everyone that I've talked to has said as well. And it's so the funniest shit to hear. Everyone literally have that. Oh, the first one was so bad, and then it's just like, but the second one, amazing. To hear everyone have that fucking that I've told you have that reaction is so funny. You know what I'm saying? So funny. But once again, this was the first time I've ever truly been like, oh, well, this was a setup film for this. That's why this next one is going to be very interesting. Because though this one, yes, sets up this should be, I never read the books before, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm expecting intergalactic fucking death, destruction, and mayhem.
Well, the book is different from what you're imagining. So.
In what way?
It's a different pace, and it's not what you expect.
There's a lot of talking and politicking.
Yeah, politics, and all that.
And I think that's the wrong direction to go.
But we don't know what this man is gonna do.
I don't even want to say it's the wrong direction to go. There has to be a healthy balance.
Yeah.
And I think he's good at that, finding a nice in between those types of things. Because he was able to showcased in the second one good action with the reservations that Paul Atreides had towards following his mother and drinking the fucking the vodka. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think he'd be able to pull it off the political side of it with the actual war, but you have to.
He did it with part one.
No, he did.
Yes, he did.
No, he did.
Bitch.
No, because the first one was literally just a setup film. That action, it's a story deficit was not this. It was this. If you can't see that, I don't know what you're watching. But the deficit was completely different. Now, in the second one, is this. It's story and the action. Like I said, the reservations of Paul Atreides' character, and then you have everything with the Baron wanting to get Fade over, and the way it all plays off of one another in succession. It's a well-oiled fucking machine. It's a smooth circle, smooth transitions. The first one was a lot more of just story. Here's some action. Story. Here's some action. That's not what the second one was at all. So for you to say that, it's just like, who are you lying to right now?
Hold on a sec. What are you trying to say? Like I'm lost right now.
You were the one that said just like the first one when I was making the comparison of the second one. I said the third one should be like that.
I'm screwing with you.
You're not screwing with me.
Yes,
I can see how lost you are.
No, I'm not.
No. You're trying to make light of it right now. To save face. That's why you're hiding behind your hand. I know you listen. I think he could pull off a third one. I don't know what happens to Zendaya's character. Does she stay on the planet?
Yeah, she stays there.
Don't even include her in the third film. Fuck it.
Mm.
Is she important in the book?
Yes, she is. She is important. Second book.
I don't even know if I need her in the third movie.
We do need her.
Does she ever leave?
No, she never. Like in the book, she's more of a believer than an atheist.
I'm gonna just start calling her Shmi.
What?
I'm gonna start calling her Shmi.
Fuck.
Shmi Skywalker, dog. She ain't never left the sand trap. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, huh? I got him fuming. Got him fuming. All in all, though,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait and see what the fuck happens with the third film. For all we know, they can cancel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that happens all the time.
It does.
Warner Brothers might think it's not financially smart, and he might come to the point where he's just like, yeah, I don't think it'll work. He might come to that conclusion. You know what I'm saying? And tell Warner Brothers, like, nah, it's not gonna work. I'm not gonna do it. And they're just gonna have to eat that. Shit like that, once again, happens all the time. In terms of the second film, I'm giving it 4 stars. Phenomenal. But the negative things I said are negatives that I hold firm and true and self-evident, and to be self-evident. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna give it 5 stars. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
For the first one, no. For the second one, I can respect that. Not for the first one. You be giving out stars like it's fucking hotcakes, bro.
Go to my letterbox and
I would
check.
have thought you worked at Dollar General with how cheap your stars are. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
check my letterbox, bitch.
Let me tell you something.
You gotta check it out.
Let me tell you something. I'm not looking at nothing. You will go check out his letterbox. Go look at how he writes. He's a different person. He's in college. He's smart. He's educated.
Are you sure it won't be peculiar for audiences to look at the video and then look at my reviews?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright. As you say so. So, check me out, baby.
This fucking guy. I don't know who he thinks he is. He doesn't even know who he is. Let me tell you something. All we need y'all to do is like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and let us know below how you felt about Dune 1. Did you think it was fucking boring like I do? I'm pretty sure you do. Let it be known. Or did you think it was amazing like the second one? Let us know. Maybe you thought both of them were ass, and I'm very curious as to why, if you do think that. And do you think the third one is going to actually happen, and what direction ultimately the story is going to go? Is it going to be more story driven? Is it going to be more action? Is it going to be a nice mesh like the second one was? Let us know in the comments below. And also let us know what other films you want us to discuss. This has been the Casual.
No, you're the
And the
Casual.
Cinephile.
The Cinephile.
Thank you.